So, guys, I can also remember in the summertime in Montgomery projects when they used to turn the water on and the water fountains, and everybody used to go outside. Everybody used to be so excited to see that water come on. Guys, I can remember being scared to go outside, especially if I had to go somewhere or whatever, because, you know, the guys in Montgomery, they love throwing us girls in the water and wetting us. Like, we used to look out the window and we'll see guys, like, they'll get anything. They get like water jugs or cups, anything they had to put water in it and throw it on people. We used to always see girls and women just running this way and that way. No, stop, no, don't wet me. I don't want to get wet. I gotta go somewhere. Don't wet me. No. So much fun. It was so funny, y'all. It was so funny. So most times I wouldn't go anywhere near that fountain unless I wanted to get wet. And sometimes, like, you had those who was real aggressive. Like, you had those guys that just want to pull you and put you right on the fountain and the water just gushing up in your face and can't talk, water going up your nose and your mouth and everything. We used to have so much fun, y'all. So much fun. Those was definitely the days. I also remember as a kid in the summertime, my mother calling me out the window. So my curfew was 7 o'clock, y'all. It wasn't even when the lights went down. It was 7 o'clock. My parents were strict. You know, they didn't play when it came to curfew. My curfew was 7 o'clock when I was younger. I would say when I was like in grammar school, you know. And I can remember times when I would be outside with my cousins playing and my mother literally calling me out the window. I could see out the window, Brent, come upstairs. Come upstairs, Brent. And I'm like, oh boy. Back then, we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have no cell phones or nothing like that. So, of course, you know, she went to the window like everybody else. So, you know, once I heard my mother calling, I knew it was time to go home, you know. So I didn't play with that because I didn't want to get on punishment. I hated punishment back in the day. You didn't want punishment. Punishment used to feel like jail. Like, punishment was like the worst thing ever. You did not want to be on punishment. And then you'll be looking out the window. You see all your friends outside playing. I can remember times my cousins calling me if I was on punishment. I couldn't go outside. Man, I'd be in my room crying. Gummy Gardens also had a wonderful after-school program. So they had people there who was helping with homework. They actually fed the kids because, you know, unfortunately, you had some kids whose families wasn't there for them the way they should have been. You know, there was no guidance or anything like that. Maybe some weren't eating right. You know, when the kids went to the after-school program, they treated them as if they were their children. And, you know, they used to take them out. I remember they went camping for like 3 days. That they had a wonderful program there. I can also remember when we used to have blackouts. Blackouts used to be the scariest thing, but the most fun all at the same time, if that makes sense. I can remember like opening the door to our apartment and looking in the hallway, and all you see is nothing but blackness, nothing but blackness. And most times, whenever we had a blackout, we always had to go somewhere. And during the blackouts, the elevator didn't work, so we had to take the stairs. So I can remember, now mind you, we lived on the 9th floor. Each building had 10 floors. We was on the 9th floor, so we was almost at the very top. And our flights was like long flights. We had like 13 steps, y'all. I bet you say I probably have elephant brain to remember how many steps we had. Like 13 steps we had to walk up and down, you know, to each floor. So I can remember leaving during a blackout with the flashlight, you know, and don't let us not have a flashlight or a working battery in the house. Oh my God. But I can remember flying down the stairs because it seemed like anytime we had to run down the stairs, well, I should say we should be walking, but I ran. But anytime we had to walk down the stairs, it always felt like somebody was behind you. Like I was constantly looking over my shoulders like, who is that? It always sound like somebody running down the stairs behind you, even though you know nobody else is there, but it's like pitch black. You going down the stairs. Imagine walking down the stairs and you turn around, look behind you, and you see nothing but darkness. It always felt like somebody was there, like that monster. Like if you're in your house and you go into the hallway, it's nighttime, it's dark. You're in the house running down the stairs or running up the stairs thinking that something is chasing you. Anyway, y'all, those was absolute fun times. I can also remember growing up in Montgomery, playing in the hallways, playing with the boys when I was smelling myself. Yeah. So I can remember also, y'all, as a kid, I remember when my mother used to have to wash my hair. She didn't have the hose to wash my hair like that, y'all. I used to have to get up on the kitchen table, and hair wash day was always scary for me as a kid. I don't know why. It used to always scare me. It felt good, but it used to always scare me because I used to hate the water getting in my eyes, or if a little bit got in my eyes. But anyway, that was like the scariest thing ever. But I remember getting up on the kitchen table, having to lean my head back in that sink. Wasn't large, of course, because again, we was in an apartment. We was in a 3-bedroom apartment. Our kitchen was larger than most, I would say, because I've seen some that was much smaller, made like a little box, but our kitchen was rather small. And thankfully, we had a washer and dryer in our apartment, so our washer and dryer was in the kitchen. And I remember times when my mother was washing clothes, like the way our dryer and our washer was set up, like the washer was on one side of the kitchen and our sink was on the other, so she used to have to like take the hose and like drag it across the kitchen and put it into the sink so that she could wash. And our dryer was connected to the gas line in the kitchen, so you know, once she was finished washing clothes, she could easily take it across the kitchen and put them right into the dryer. Now also, people may think that our project elevators was scary, and it was at times, but I can remember when my second daughter, she was about, I want to say, a year old when I got stuck in the elevator. And oh my goodness, that was like the scariest thing ever, because there's nothing like getting stuck in an elevator in the projects, and don't let that door open and all you see is that wall in front of you. That's like the scariest thing ever. So anyway, I got stuck, and I want to say I was stuck for almost about an hour. You know, so anytime, you know, anyone got stuck, you just ring that bell, start ringing that bell. And once you ring the bell, eventually somebody would hear you, you know, and they would pretty much call maintenance to let someone know that someone's stuck in the elevator, and then they'll call, you know, the fire department to come and help us out. So this particular day, y'all, so anyway, like I said, I was stuck for like an hour. So the way the elevator was positioned, I was like almost to the first floor, so there was like a small gap, you know, in between the wall and like the opening of the door to the first floor, if that makes sense, if you follow. So anyway, I can remember that day the fire department coming to get me and my daughter out of the elevator. So now my daughter, she was only a year at that time. She was walking, but she was very tiny, you know, so I can remember the fire department coming, and they opened the door. Like, they was able to manage to open the door to the elevator and open the door to where I was. And I could see, like, I'm standing in the elevator, and I could like look down, and I could see the guys right there. Now, guys, I used to be shy, so the only thing on my mind was getting out of the elevator and who gonna see me. I didn't want nobody to see me. Fireman, he asked me to hand him my daughter first, of course, you know, because she was the smallest. So that's what I did. I pretty much had to pick her up, and I had to actually like hand her to him, like literally like hand her to him. All you see is elevator shaft on the bottom, and this fireman with his hands out like that. That was just the scariest feeling ever, you know, like, oh my God, that was so scary. And then after he got my daughter, it was my turn next, right? So guys, I tell no lie. When I bent down, like, I was the one who actually had to sit down because I was bigger, of course. So I had to sit down and, like, you know, put my legs down so the fireman can actually grab me. I had to like scoop myself down, like, out of the elevator. This fireman, y'all, when I tell you, I felt like he held me up like the Lion King for everyone to see who was on that elevator. He literally like held me up like this, and he turned me around like this, like, here she is. It's Brenda. Brenda was stuck in the elevator. Here she is. The lobby was full of people. And oh my gosh, I was so embarrassed. And all I heard was, oh, that's the girl from the 9th floor. That's the quiet girl from the 9th floor. Oh, that's Terry's sister. Because they know me as the quiet girl from the 9th floor. And everybody knew my sister, because my sister knew everybody in Montgomery. And there was times when they didn't even know my sister was my sister. And there was some people like, oh, that's Terry's sister. That was Terry's sister. But y'all, that fireman, he was gorgeous. He was gorgeous. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, y'all, I told y'all all of my positive experiences and good things about living in the projects. So, aside from that, I would say over the years, things did change, you know, just to be totally transparent, things did change. You know, there was times when, you know, the gangs was becoming more prevalent in the city, and, you know, they were doing things, and it just became hostile. You know what I mean? It became very hostile. So yeah, y'all, I just wanted to share some of my positive experiences living in and growing up in the projects, because, you know, some people look at the projects as danger, you know, don't go there, you know, and I just wanted to just let people know that it's not always like that. You know, I can't speak for all project communities, of course, but where I grew up, I didn't have to experience that as a child. Now, later on down the years, things were changing. You know, it started getting bad, y'all, you know, because, you know, you had more gangs, and, you know, you had like people that beefing with this person from here, and, you know, these people are beefing with these people over here. They doing crazy stuff, you know, and things changed, and it got to a point where, you know, my parents, I was happy that I was able to, you know, help get them out of there, and they moved out of the projects first. When they moved, I actually took over the apartment, because at that time I had my girls, and my youngest daughter, she was still an infant baby at the time when I was still living there. But I think after my parents moved from the projects, I moved soon after, I would say maybe a year, because it was just getting out of control, and I had to get my girls out of there, because it was getting to a point where I was coming home from work, and I was literally scared to walk into the building, because, you know, they had a reputation of, you know, people coming to our housing project, and they was beefing with, you know, other people there, and they was doing a lot of shooting. And, you know, bullets don't have any names on them, y'all. So it's like they was doing a lot, and I didn't want to be a part of that, and I didn't want to continue raising my girls there like that. So I made the decision to go ahead and move and get out of that environment and out of that community. But like I said, growing up, it was just a totally different experience. You know, my childhood was great, you know, and I could go a little more in depth about my childhood, and, you know, growing up with my mother and my father and siblings, and things we used to do, you know, things that I can remember, and things that I could remember experiencing as a kid. It's a lot, you know, which is good, you know, and I'm like I said before, I'm blessed and I'm proud of it, and I'm thankful for it, you know. But yeah, I just wanted to share, you know, my experiences growing up in Montgomery Gardens. And like I said, you probably would have never known that I grew up in the projects, but I did. I grew up in the projects, and it was definitely an experience. It was definitely an experience. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this vlog. I hope you continue to come back and watch my video right here, because I can be a bit chatty at times, because I have a lot of stories to tell. So before I go, just make sure you click that like button. It definitely helps our channel while we try and grow these YouTube streets. Also, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe as well, so that you can join the rest of the family and friendsies. I hope you all take care, be blessed, and stay safe, guys. Bye.